Why is crypto still dumping right now? And do you think we're inside a bear market right now? I mean, has the bear market already started, do you think? Let's have a look at what Bitcoin and Ethereum's doing this morning and why are they still dumping. So we're on a bounce here, right? But this is the zone I was talking about, 107.4. And in a way, it hit it exactly. We've bounced 1, 2, 3 times and bounced off. Do I think this is the real bounce, even though I drew this level for the last week or so? I think we probably have one more test to go. And the good optimistic scenario is if we wick through, right, fake through, and then bounce. The bad scenario is we were to close 2 or 3 days below, then we go for the next lower level, which is around 101K or 100K. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope the best scenario is basically a week through and then up we go. This bounce, I cannot quite trust it, even though we've broken through this downward trend line here, because usually these very steep trend lines don't quite work. And then basically 116, I don't think we'll get there. We probably get stopped at this 113.8, right? May not even get there. We turn down, bounce, and then up we go. But what is causing the dump this morning? Okay, so the US market just had a long weekend, and it opened this morning. And here is what I'm going to show you guys. Basically, we can see that everything in the stocks is opening down. Part of the reason is because we had a bad PMI report, manufacturing report that was bad, and I was warning about this. I was warning about the weekly closes, if not on video, then at least to my Discord, because see here, this is what they call a topping tail on weekly chart. So we do have to take it seriously. That, right, small body, but long tail, topping tail. It happened here as well, and that means we spent the next week going down, not much, and then recovered, right? So this is only the second time we've seen a topping tail in this entire rally, since the bottom on April 7th, right? And it's been a big rally. We've made new all-time highs by like 7 or 8%. If we did have a pullback here, that's completely normal. So first target I'd be looking for is 611 area. Right now we're at 640. We may not get there, but if we did get there, I'd expect a big bounce off 611, right, on SP 500. And Bitcoin pretty much just follows SP 500, except it's like 2 weeks early, as we've seen again. It turned down 2 weeks early. So also gap down is the NASDAQ, right? Gaps down on Tuesday. But here's the thing. NASDAQ, you could argue, NASDAQ composite already a topping tail here. Not quite classic topping tail pattern, but certainly a topping tail here. And gap down and down we go. We could say that this was a gapping down pattern, didn't work. The topping tail pattern this week, right? May 27th didn't work. And we could say that maybe this and this was as well, didn't work. So we can't take it 100% seriously, but it is a stronger warning than a normal chart pattern. So right now, like if you look at QQQ, NASDAQ 100, you've got this and you've got this as well. So yeah, that's two topping patterns. So basically, I wouldn't be surprised if we do a pullback, and Bitcoin has already been on a pullback. But what else? The PMI numbers that came out today was quite weak. And in fact, have a look at this. It was weak so that it boosted the chance of a rate cut to 92% now. Now, just on Thursday, it was only 86% chance. Now it's 92% chance. So that means the market is interpreting it as a very weak number. But what's going to happen to the markets next? Before we answer that question, first let's answer the question of which crypto exchange does Pablo He-Man use? Well, Pablo uses this exchange that's non-KYC. That means you don't need to show your ID. That means even the exchange can't see who you are. That means the IRS can't see you, the tax office can't see you, FBI, CIA, nobody can see you, right? So that's why I made this deal with them. For my followers only, trade and win $25,000 every week. every week win $25,000, right? You can see every week they have these competitions for you to win 2,000, 4,000, 8,000, 15, or 25,000 US dollars just by trading volume. Just by trading volume, get in the top 60 and win prizes, or get in the top 10 and win by P&L, as in profit and loss. Okay, so that's deal is limited time only, and it's only for until September 12th, only until September 12th. But if you're watching this on another platform, such as this one, then basically just click on my profile page, and there's my link tree or Stan link. We click on that, and it should be the first deal that pops up, because this is a great deal. But let's get back to the markets. But remember, folks, this is only on the Pablo Heyman link. This is only on the Pablo Heyman link. It's not an exchange-wide competition. It's only for my followers on this Pablo Heyman link. Okay, let's get back to it. So another reason. What's another? So we've seen basically the market pricing in weakness, pricing stronger chance of a rate cut in September. I'll tell you another reason for a rate cut in September. It's because the U.S. head of he's not head of mortgages. He's called Pulte, P-U-L-T-E. He's in charge of Fannie Mae and all those mortgage agencies. But essentially, he works for Donald Trump. And what he said this morning is that they found video evidence. They found video evidence that what's her name? Lisa Cook has been renting her primary residence out to people who are to renters. Basically, if you have been following me, Trump's tried to fire the one of the major Federal Reserve governors, right? This African American lady called Lisa Cook, and his excuse for firing her, other than the fact that she doesn't want to cut rates, is that in her mortgage application she wrote, this is her primary residence, right? Even though that's out of state for her, she's Chicago native, and that place is actually now rented to somebody else. But she got half a percentage points off, 50 basis points lower in her loan rate, because she says this is my primary residence. Turns out it's not, and they filmed her apartment, and it's somebody else living there. So now basically Trump's that came out like 2 hours ago, and looks like they're going to fire. They have a stronger case of firing this Lisa Cook from the Federal Reserve for lying, for embezzlement, for lying, right? So it looks like the odds of a rate cut is pretty high, like 92%. We've had a bad manufacturing PMI. The economy seems weak, but I will say the key to watch out for is this Thursday and this Friday. This Thursday we get the services PMI. Now services is like about 2/3 of the U.S. economy. Manufacturing is only about 1/3, so it's like much bigger than the manufacturing PMI. And on Friday we get the all important PCE number, which is the inflation number, especially the core PCE number, is the one that the Fed looks at, right? And we're only like, 14 days away, 13 days away from they make a decision on a rate cut or not. So this is the last real major number, PCE number, before the rate cut. It's going to be really important. So what are some other factors we should look out for? Okay, one other factor is this. Let's start from the top. The market is dropping this morning because look at this chart. Long-term U.S. government bonds are basically bond yields are surging across the world. When they always say across the world. Or some people are more careful when they say across the free world, right? That freedom, right? Freedom and democracy. So what they mean is actually United States, Japan, Great Britain, France, not quite Germany yet, but obviously it doesn't include China because Chinese yields are going down. That's not a good thing either. That means their economy is weak, right? That means their economy is weak and their yields are going down. They want their yields to go up a little bit more. But in the free world, the freedom world, they have the opposite problem. The yields are going up. By the way, if you want me to explain why am I talking about this, people might think, oh, what's this got to do with Bitcoin? What it's got to do with Bitcoin is that right now, gold is surging, up 2%. Gold, right? Look at this. It's surging. And if I put on a daily chart, it's gapping up. When do you see gold gapping up and doing this, right? Well, it does this because, look, gold is gapping up and doing that, right? You never see gold do this. It is because the bond world is kind of in trouble right now. Why are stocks down across the board? When stocks are down, Bitcoin's down. It is because the world is worried about the debt situation in the free countries, in the free world, right? So if we have a grasp of this situation, we have a better grasp of the Bitcoin situation. And what's happening is this. Look, Great British Pound 30-year yields 5.6%. Just take in those numbers for a second. Take it in for a second. US almost 5%. Now, mind you, France 4.42%. Mind you, Great Britain has cut interest rates like 4 times. US has cut interest rates like 3 times. I think the EU has cut interest rates like 5 or 6 times. Japan used to have negative rates. That 30-year yield used to be something like below 0.5%, below 0.6%. Now it's 3.2%. When these yields are rising, right, it means the cost of borrowing money for 30 years gets much more expensive. Like imagine paying back 5.6%, right? Imagine paying back 5.6% every year for the next 30 years. That's what you're looking at if you're the British government. We're paying back 4.93% or almost 5% every year for the next 30 years if you're the US government. Bond yields go up, bond prices go down. And if they go down a lot, that's a crash. That's why Trump is so alarmed about this. Also a lot of trouble in France as well. Japan might look low, but this is a big deal because Japan has issued way more debt than anybody else. Their government debt to GDP ratio is something like 250%. That's double United States. Everyone's worried about the United States. Japan is double, 250%. So basically, when this number gets very high, then that's a lot of interest to pay. Anyways, okay, that's only one of the charts that's having the market worried. That should have you worried as well, because in the short term, I'm still expecting blow off top to Bitcoin, blow off top to the stock market. But as I keep on saying, my top scenario is September to November. We're at September the 2nd right now, and in the next few weeks, essentially, I'm expecting the top. If not, I'll give you a new target, right? I'll admit I'm too early, and I'll give you a new target when I think it'll top, probably delayed by like 3-4 weeks or something, not much. And when that happens, basically everything tops and everything goes down except gold. I do think even Chinese stocks will take a pullback, even a bigger dump as well. But they should weather the storm better than the US and European stocks, because US European stocks are just like, they're at an all-time high right now. You could definitely call it a bubble right now. Okay, so what's causing the dumps? This is a price chart of Bitcoin since January 2022. There was the 15K bottom, and we've been rising here. And you can see every time, right, we have a top is because somebody is dumping. Somebody is dumping the Bitcoin, and right, these are the Bitcoin wallets that have been moved, and we break it down by age, right? So we can see this deep red is 6 months to 1 year. Short-term buyers of Bitcoin taking profit. But the ones we're really interested in are these blue ones and these purple ones. Why? Because they're 7 to 10 year or 10 year plus. These are the ancient whales, right? So as we can see, we don't see them very often. But here, this is the blue whales, right? 7 to 10 year whales. They sold around this 70, 73, 69K area, and it caused Bitcoin to go into this 7 month bear market. That was from, we all remember this. This was from March 24 to September 24. 6 to 7 month bear market. Bitcoin went from 73K to 49K. Gee, that was painful. And another one is basically here. This was when Trump got elected, December top 2024, and then January double top 2025. And we see again a surge in selling. Again, most of it is 6 to 1 year with patches of green of 5 to 7 year sellers. Now, and here we see a spike. Here again, it's not as high as December last year, but it's higher. It's higher than March, April last year, which caused a 7-month slump. So should we be worried about this? And we do see this green. We see some blue, and we even see some purple. So that means 5 to 7 year wallets, 7 to 10 year wallets, and even some 10+ year wallets are selling, right? Most are, of course, the lower ends, which is what, 6 months to 1 year, 1 year to 2 year, and some 3 to 5 year wallets who bought last cycle. But here's the thing. Normally, if I look at this, I would say very alarmed. Of course, that's bad news. That's bad news. But this time, what has happened is this. Like, some wallets are actually selling in order to buy Ethereum. Some Bitcoin wallets, ancient wallets, are selling to buy Bitcoin. And here, I think 2 episodes ago, I actually showed you guys this guy's wallet, right? But this is a report, right? I showed you guys that he was selling like 1,000 Bitcoin at a time and then buying it all in ETH. So he's got 11 billion Bitcoins in his wallet. He's like 14 years old. Sorry, about 14 years old. And he's basically he's sold like 6 billion, half of his Bitcoins, and he's bought 4 billion of which in Ethereum. He's bought more Ethereum than SharpLink. SharpLink is SBET. There are 2 leading Ethereum treasuries. One's called Bitminer, right? It's Scott Steiner, and SharpLink, or SBET. SBET, if I'm not mistaken, is basically the one that's started by Joseph Lubin. That's actually the guy who is basically the founder of a co-founder, one of the 6 co-founders of Ethereum. They only have like $3.6 billion worth of Ethereum. This Bitcoin whale sold half his Bitcoin and bought $4 billion worth of Ethereum. So, like, I don't know if I want to be that bearish, because on the one hand, I should be alarmed people are selling, and I do think prices go for a dip lower than the 107K area we're in right now. But they're selling Ethereum, Bitcoin to buy Ethereum. So on the other hand, just keep this in mind. We've never seen crypto market take off by Bitcoin going down and Ethereum leading the way. Like, you need both. You need Bitcoin and probably Ethereum to be taken off as well. So it's just hard. Okay, just one last thing, and that is I should remind everyone, even though in my last episode I talked about this. This is the Trump coin, World Liberty Fi, and I am trading World Liberty Fi on Bitunix because they listed both the spot and the futures. I told you guys I was trading it on the futures market at 1x. Now, as I explained in the last video, the reason why it's gone down is because, as I calculated, the supply right now is 5 billion. But CoinMarketCap lists the supply at 25 billion. That's because there are all these things like marketing budget, like Alts 5 or ALT Sigma. That's the treasury company for World Liberty Fi. They're accumulating 8% of the supply, and they count that as circulating supply as well. I mean, the whole point of a treasury company is that they hold the supply and they don't sell. So it's due to inexperience And the Trump boys not knowing, they don't know what they're doing. So therefore, they don't have a vesting schedule where you give out these coins month by month, right? So therefore, now the market thinks there's 25 billion circulating supply rather than just 5 billion. So the supply they think is 5 times bigger. That's why it's come back down to the level I quoted, which is around this 21, 22 cents area. So for my followers who've seen my video, for the folks in my Discord, we're going at this level. But what I'm going to say is I think this is an opportunity. I think that Trump's going to fix this mistake. I think they're going to put it on a vesting schedule. So they will reduce the circulating supply to something like 5 billion or 6, 7, 8 billion. It's going to get a lot lower than 25 billion. They're going to slowly dole out those coins over a longer period of time, is what I'm saying. So I think this is an opportunity to get in around 21, 22 cents. Not sponsored by any of those coins. Okay, thank you for your time, folks. Catch you next episode.